Imagine a man whose ambition, brilliance on the battlefield, and bold political maneuvers would forever alter the course of history. Julius Caesar was not merely a general or a politician, he was a visionary whose actions dismantled the old order of the Roman Republic and set in motion the rise of an empire. In this video, we embark on an in-depth exploration of Caesar's life, from his humble beginnings and early struggles to the spectacular military campaigns that earned him renown, the decisive moments of civil war, and the far-reaching reforms that reshaped Rome. Join us as we journey through a saga of conquest, betrayal, and transformation, a story that continues to captivate and inspire centuries later. Julius Caesar was born in 100 BCE into the patrician Julian clan, a family with ancient roots and a storied history in Rome. Although the family's fortunes had waned somewhat by his birth, Caesar's early education in rhetoric, philosophy, and military affairs laid the groundwork for a life destined for greatness. From an early age, he exhibited a keen mind and an unyielding desire to rise above his station. A pivotal chapter in Caesar's life was the Gallic Wars, fought between 58 and 50 BCE. Appointed as the governor of Cisalpine Gaul, Illyricum, and Transalpine Gaul, Caesar embarked on a series of military campaigns that would both expand Roman territories and showcase his military genius. Flush with victory and popular acclaim, Caesar's return to Rome was fraught with tension. The Senate, increasingly wary of his power and the loyalty of his legions, demanded that he disband his army and return to Rome as a private citizen. In 49 BCE, facing mounting pressure and political intrigue, Caesar made the fateful decision to cross the Rubicon River with his army, a move that symbolized irrevocable defiance against the Republic. With the Civil War behind him and his power firmly established, Julius Caesar set about implementing a series of sweeping reforms that would change Rome forever. His vision extended beyond military conquest. He sought to create a more efficient, centralized state capable of managing the vast territories of the Republic. One of his most enduring contributions was the reform of the calendar. The introduction of the Julian calendar brought order to timekeeping, aligning Rome with a system that would be used for centuries. Caesar also reformed the Senate, enlarging its ranks and attempting to balance the interests of various social groups. His measures, while controversial, laid the groundwork for a centralized state that would eventually evolve into the Roman Empire. On the economic front, Caesar implemented policies aimed at alleviating debt and redistributing land. Public works projects such as the construction of new roads, aqueducts, and public buildings provided employment for the urban poor and modernized the infrastructure of Rome. These initiatives not only stimulated economic growth, but also helped to win the support of the common people. Caesar's reforms challenged the traditional power structures of the Republic, threatening the established senatorial elite while promising a more egalitarian distribution of resources. Ultimately, Julius Caesar's reforms were driven by a vision of Rome as a stable, prosperous state, a stark contrast to the factionalism and corruption of the old Republic. By centralizing power, reforming the government, and initiating extensive public works, Caesar sought to create a society that could support Rome's growing military and administrative needs. His policies reflected a pragmatic approach. While his ultimate goal was to secure his own power, he also recognized that lasting change required addressing the underlying issues that had long hindered Rome's progress. Despite his sweeping reforms and military successes, Caesar's accumulation of power and radical changes threatened the established order of the Roman Senate. Fearing that he was intent on abolishing the Republic altogether, a group of conspirators, including close allies such as Brutus and Cassius, plotted his assassination. Julius Caesar's life and actions have left an indelible mark on history. His military conquests expanded the boundaries of Rome, and his reforms set in motion changes that would shape the future of Western civilization. Caesar's innovative tactics, ranging from rapid maneuver warfare to the effective use of engineering and siegecraft, are still studied in military academies around the world. Battles such as Alesia, Pharsalus, and Munda are testament to his ability to outthink and outmaneuver his opponents. His detailed accounts in the Commentari de Bello Gallico not only serve as historical records, but also as enduring lessons in leadership and strategy. The administrative and political reforms initiated by Caesar were instrumental in undermining the old republican system. By centralizing power and reforming governance structures, he paved the way for a new form of government. Although his rule was cut short by his assassination, the foundation he laid enabled Octavian to establish the Roman Empire, a system that would dominate the Mediterranean world for centuries. Caesar's life has inspired countless works of art, literature, and drama. From Shakespeare's play Julius Caesar to modern films and novels, his story of ambition, triumph, and tragedy continues to resonate with audiences worldwide. Phrases such as "crossing the Rubicon" have entered common parlance as symbols of irrevocable commitment and bold decision-making. The legacy of Julius Caesar extends beyond the battlefield and political reforms. It offers timeless lessons on leadership, ambition, and the complexities of power. His life demonstrates how transformative change, whether in warfare, governance, or society, often comes at a high cost. The interplay between ambition, loyalty, and the forces of history in his career provides insights that remain relevant in modern political and organizational contexts. The story of Julius Caesar is as much a personal saga as it is a historical turning point. His rise from a relatively obscure noble family to the pinnacle of power in Rome is a testament to his extraordinary ambition and resilience. Yet his life also underscores the perilous nature of absolute power. The very qualities that enabled his success, ruthless determination, strategic brilliance, and an unyielding will, also sowed the seeds of his downfall. The internal conflicts, betrayals, and eventual civil strife that followed his ascent remind us that even the most brilliant leaders are not immune to the complexities of human ambition and politics. Caesar's legacy is a double-edged sword. It heralds the potential for transformative change, but it also warns of the dangers inherent in concentrated power and unchecked ambition. As we reflect on his life, we must ask ourselves, what does it mean to pursue greatness at any cost? How do the ideals of leadership, reform, and innovation balance against the potential for tyranny and division? These questions, raised by Caesar's tumultuous career, continue to challenge and inspire leaders and thinkers today. Perhaps the most profound impact of Julius Caesar's career was the irreversible transformation of Rome itself. His actions not only extended the boundaries of Roman territory, but also altered the very fabric of its political and social institutions. Before Caesar, Rome was defined by a complex system of checks and balances, a republic in which power was distributed among various branches of government and held in check by the Senate. Caesar's rise, however, exposed the fragility of this system. His accumulation of power, the loyalty he inspired in his troops, and his willingness to bypass traditional political channels revealed the limitations of the republican model. His dictatorship, though short-lived, demonstrated that decisive leadership could override centuries of political tradition. In the wake of Caesar's assassination, Rome did not return to the old ways. Instead, the power struggles that ensued eventually led to the ascension of Octavian, who would become Augustus, the first Roman emperor. Augustus built upon Caesar's legacy, consolidating power and establishing a new political order that would define Rome for the next 5 centuries. The transformation from republic to empire, set in motion by Caesar's reforms and military victories, marked a pivotal moment in Western history, one that reshaped governance, law, and the very idea of statecraft. Many of the reforms introduced by Caesar, such as the reorganization of the Senate, the creation of the Julian calendar, and measures to alleviate economic distress, continued to influence Roman administration long after his death. These changes laid the foundation for a more centralized and efficient state, one capable of managing the vast territories and diverse populations of the Roman world. In this way, Caesar's vision of a reformed Rome lived on, even as the Republic itself gave way to imperial rule. Julius Caesar's life was a monumental chapter in the history of Rome, a period marked by extraordinary military conquests, groundbreaking reforms, and the radical transformation of a once fragmented republic into the early framework of an empire. His story is a saga of ambition, strategic brilliance, and the perilous consequences of wielding absolute power. Through victories in Gaul, decisive battles in the Civil War, and a legacy of political and social reform, Caesar reshaped the destiny of Rome and, by extension, the course of Western civilization. As we reflect on his achievements and the turbulent aftermath of his ascent, we are reminded that history is shaped not only by military might, but by visionary ideas and the relentless drive to reform and innovate. Julius Caesar's legacy challenges us to consider the cost of greatness and the fine line between order and chaos, a lesson that remains as relevant today as it was over 2 millennia ago. Thank you for joining us on this in-depth journey through the life of Julius Caesar. If you found this exploration enlightening, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the figures and events that have transformed our world. What do you believe was Caesar's most significant contribution to the transformation of Rome? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue this fascinating conversation about one of history's most complex and influential figures.